It wasn't an easy week for Owen and Amelia during the February 14 episode of Grey's Anatomy. Not only did they learn that Betty ran away from rehab, but they were also confronted by Betty's parents, Mr. Kyle Seeker and Mrs. Dickinson, Jennifer Grey, when they arrived at Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital looking for their missing daughter. Unbeknownst to them, Betty had recently called them. However, she failed to tell them about her baby boy, Leo, so Amelia was left revealing that heartbreaking information to them. And after introducing them to baby Leo, Amelia had a one-on-one talk with Carol, who revealed she feels like a bad mom because of how Betty turned out. But Amelia assured her that she shouldn't blame herself for Betty's addiction because she too is an addict. And when she got clean, the last person she wanted to see was her mom due to all the shame she felt. It was basically Amelia's way of telling Carol that none of this was her fault and she is a good mom. Unfortunately for Amelia, though, the admission backfired on her when Mr. and Mrs. Dickinson later expressed interest in taking Leo with them. After all, they are his grandparents. But when Owen tried stopping them, Mr. Dickinson said he wouldn't allow an addict, Amelia, to raise his grandchild. Owen then told them they'll need to get a court order before taking Leo anywhere with them, and once they left disgruntled, Owen ripped into Amelia for revealing a potentially damaging secret. He said his fight to keep Leo will be so much harder now, and she walked away heartbroken over the way he yelled at her. Meanwhile, a blast from the past threw Maggie off her game this week. So much so, in fact, that she didn't even hear Meredith ask for her permission to go on a date with DeLuca. But we'll get to that later. First we'll tell you why Maggie was thrown off her game. And it was all because of a woman who she went to medical school with. Kiki arrived at Grey Sloan with an aorta graft that was wearing out. But to open up her chest and fix it, Kiki was already facing a 30% mortality rate. The odds definitely weren't in her favor, and because of how much Maggie hated Kiki back in the day, she feared what people would think if she ended up killing her former schoolmate, even if it was accidental. But with some encouragement from Meredith, they forged ahead with the surgery, and there weren't any complications. And speaking of Meredith and DeLuca, once Maggie and Mer were done with their surgery, Meredith once again asked about going on a date with DeLuca, and Maggie was more than okay with it. She actually admitted to not hearing Meredith the first time she asked, but she wholeheartedly approved of them pursuing a romance. She even cheekily offered to help take DeLuca down if he ever hurt Meredith. So after that, Meredith and DeLuca went on a date, but not on his motorcycle, since she has 3 kids at home. And he said dinner would be his treat as they held hands and exited the hospital together. Bailey also got jealous of Alex achieving so much while acting as interim chief, so by the end of the episode, she tried asking for her job back. But Alex wouldn't budge, even though he initially hated the job. He said he's been loving it lately and wouldn't want to turn down the higher pay. So because of that, he told Bailey she'll have to wait for him to fulfill his 6-month contract before the trade spots again. And even though she was a bit bitter about it, she still told him she was proud of him. "And here I didn't think you'd make it through your first year as an intern," she quipped. Finally, Teddy continued to pursue her relationship with Tom after realizing she and Owen are better off as best friends who love each other. Want more drama? Watch new episodes of Grey's Anatomy every Thursday at 8 p.m. on ABC.